Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kathleen, and today's video is going to be my December wrap-up and my January TBR. So for the month of December, I actually read a total of 5 books, but I still feel like I could have read more because honestly, I ended up going days without reading because I was so lazy, and it was also the holidays, so I was kind of distracted with other things. But I still read 5 books, and I say that's pretty good considering my average is about 4 books a month. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so the first book that I read during the month of December is Heartless by Marissa Meyer. I've talked about this book before in my channel, and this was my first Marissa Meyer book. She wrote the Lunar Chronicles, which I have most of the books, but I still haven't read it, and a lot of people keep telling me you need to read the books, and trust me, I will. But this is an origin retelling sort of book based on the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland. It just tells us the origin of how this character became the Queen of Hearts, and it was so absolutely heartbreaking because I really connected with the character, and I knew the final destination of who she was going to become, but I really didn't want her to. She was just such an amazing character, and she was such a nice person. It's just a lot of factors that played into who she became at the end, and I was so sad. Like, I literally cried at the end of this book because it was so beautiful. Highly recommend everyone to read it. I gave this book a 4.5 stars out of 5, mostly because I did feel the beginning was a little bit slow. It took me about 100 pages to really get into this book, which is the reason why I docked half a star. But I still love this book nonetheless, and this book did make it to my top 5 favorite books of 2016. Alright, and then the next 3 books that I read was the True Blue trilogy by Joyce Scarborough. I received these books for free from the author as part of a vlog tour in exchange for an honest review. So I did do a whole review on these books. It is linked down below if you guys would like to check it out. But basically, this is a coming of age story following 4 main characters: Jenna, Billy Joe, Wade, and Mickey. And 2 of these books actually made it into my worst books of 2016, which were the last 2 books. And the reason for that is because what I really didn't like was that romance is a huge part in these books, especially the last 2. It really is. However, the relationship that Jenna has with one of the boys, it is very, very abusive. The love interest, he comes off as very controlling and demanding, and he always has to know what she's doing and who she's with. And the author tried to romanticize it, tried to make it seem as if he's being protective as opposed to what he was really being, and it really turned me off. I gave the first book 3 stars because I really did enjoy it, and then the second book I gave it 2 stars because that's when she entered this relationship. And then the third book was better. Still gave it 3 stars, but the relationship just kind of overall, I felt it was a good trilogy. It just had a lot of problems, especially. And then the last book that I read in the month of December was Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo. This is the 3rd and final book in the Grisha trilogy, and it was fantastic. I bawled my eyes out at the end of this book. It was so beautiful, like super beautifully written. I wish there was some things that were different, but I still really enjoyed this book. I did give it 5 stars, and this was just such a beautiful ending to the story. I would highly recommend everyone to read the Grisha trilogy, but I did want to read these books before I read the Six of Crows duology because that duology has been getting so much hype, and I'm so intrigued to read it. It is set in the same world, and I cannot wait to dive back into this world because it was just so absolutely beautifully written. And alright, so for my January TBR, I actually selected 4 books that I wanted to read. A lot of us are going back to school this semester, so I did pick 4 books. I was going to pick 5, but I felt like that would be unrealistic because I'm not going to read 5 books. But the first book that I selected to read this month is actually a book that I'm currently reading, and it is The Crown's Game by Evelyn Sky. As you can see, it is just the dust jacket because I'm currently reading right now, and this is actually the BIBLIO Squad's book pick of the month for the month of December, and we are having our live show this coming Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Grace from G Swizzle Books channel. I will be uploading a video on that day as well to remind you guys. But this is a fantasy world set in Russia, and basically the king decides that he wants to do the Crown's Game again, and basically the the crowns game takes enchanters from the country and they put them in the crowns game, and whoever wins gets to be the royal enchanter for the king, basically, and then the other enchanters die. Two of our main characters are the enchanters, and so far I'm like 150 pages in, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I am like really liking these stories, and one thing that I really appreciate about this book, by the way, is that the chapters are so short. And I feel like I'm reading faster because of that. And the Grisha trilogy books, the chapters are so long, like 20 to 25 pages each chapter, and so I felt like I read those slower. But I'm like flying to this book because the chapters are so short. But I'm so enjoying so far, and I really cannot wait to finish it because Grace from G Swizzle Books, she really loved this book. This book was actually in her top 16 books of 2016, I believe. And the next book that I want to read during the month of January is Children of Eden by Joey Graceffa. This is actually the Biblio Squad's book pick of the month for January, and our live show, I believe, will be on the first Saturday of February. It hasn't been set in stone yet, I'll let you guys know. But this is a dystopian world where overpopulation has become a problem, and so families aren't allowed to have second children, I believe, and our main character, she is an illegal second child. So I don't know too much about it besides that, but if you think that the name is familiar, Joey Graceffa is this big popular YouTuber, and usually I'm very wary of YouTuber books. I generally am turned off by them. I don't know why, but I am. But this book sounds really fantastic, and you guys know how much I love my dystopians. Not to mention the fact that I absolutely love this cover. I think it's absolutely freaking gorgeous, and I really cannot wait to read it and see if it's actually any good. Because if I'm impressed by this book, then I'm definitely gonna have to think about my stance on YouTuber books. And of course, the next book that I'm planning on reading is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. This is the first book in her Six of Crows duology, and it is set in the same world as the Grisha trilogy, which I just finished reading, as you guys well know. I love that series so much, I cannot rave enough about it, and a lot of people have been raving about this duology, and I really cannot wait to read it because it is set in the same world as the Grisha trilogy with all different characters and such. And the next book that I'm planning to get to in the month of January is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. So the third book in this trilogy is coming out next month, which is The King's Cage. And I have been putting off reading the first two books in this series because I didn't want to fall in love with the series and then have to wait like a long time for the third book to finally come out. So I've been delaying reading this book until the release date of the third book is very close, so that I don't have to wait that long for the third book. A friend of mine did read this book, and she said it was absolutely fantastic. Like, she seriously raved about this book, and she kept telling me, read it, and I told her, no, I'm gonna wait until the release date of the third book is close. Waiting for a last book to come out, it drives me nuts. So I am wanting to start on this trilogy right now because, like I said, the third book will be out next month. And that is all, guys. Those are the books that I'm planning on reading during the month of January. Let's hope that I get to it. If I do end up having more time to read, which I don't think I will, but if I do, I'll probably pick up the second book in the Red Queen trilogy, which is Glass Sword, so I'll have that done by the time the third book comes out. But anyway, let me know down in the comments below what books you're planning on reading in the month of January, because I would really love to know. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if you did, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. All of my social medias are linked down below, including Goodreads, Instagram, and Twitter if you would like to follow me. I hope to see you guys on my next video. Have a good day, guys, and keep reading. Bye!